Hey guys, Mr. Middleton here. Today we're going to talk about conversions. At the end of this video, you should be able to convert from one unit to another and from two units to two others. Alright, on the first side, it might be nice or it'll be handy to keep your conversion sheet next to you. We'll mainly be dealing with metrics that you can be expected to remember, but if you don't remember those yet, use that conversion sheet that you worked on yesterday. Make sure you finish that so you can have a reference point. Okay, alright, so I'm going to walk through a couple of these. I know there's 10 problems here. I'll walk through about 3 of them. On this front side, converting 1 to 1, and on the back side, we'll walk through one problem together, converting 2 units to 2 units. Okay, on this first problem, it's asked us to convert 4 feet into inches, or 4 feet to inches. I'm going to go through the process that we can have. I know some of you guys might say, okay, 4 feet, 12 inches in a foot, 4 times 12, and that will work, but I want to go, I'm kind of long-handed so that you can understand the 2 unit to 2 unit conversion. So, the thing that we have, we need to make sure we set up, always set up a fraction. 4 is 4 over 1. Okay, in this case there's only feet, there's only 1 unit, so we'll just say 4 feet up top. Okay, the next thing that we want to focus on is we want to focus on the unit that we want to end up with. So in this case we want to end up with inches. Okay, and so I'm going to use my ratio and I'm going to multiply by something. Okay, when we're multiplying, the only way that we can multiply something and keep the value the same is to multiply by 1. Okay, but what we're going to do in order to change units is that we're going to make this a number 1. Okay, I know that I want to get to inches. Okay, and I know that I have feet. So from here on out, I'm just using conversions. There's 12 inches in 1 foot. Notice that this is 1. Okay? Because the unit that I want ends up at the top, I know that I'm done. And I can multiply straight across. 4 times 12 gives me 48. 1 times 1 gives me 1. Okay? Now I want to focus on the units. Notice up top we have feet times inches. In the bottom we have feet. Okay? Our units, feet units or foot units, feet, cancel out, okay, because we'd have feet in the numerator and feet in the denominator, so they cancel out. And so we're left with just the inches. Okay, so converting 4 feet to inches is 48 inches. Okay. Alright, let's jump down to number 4. Number 4 asks us to convert 2.5 miles into inches. Okay, so 2.5 miles. Again, I'll start with 2.5 miles over 1. Again, it's just 1 unit. Okay, now, before we could change feet straight to inches, because I know that there's 12 inches in a foot. I'm not sure how many miles or inches are in a mile. Okay, but I do know, and you should know from your conversion sheet, that we can change miles into feet. And again, notice that because miles is in the numerator in this first one, I know that miles will be in the denominator in the second. Okay, now looking at the unit up top is feet. I don't want feet, so I have to keep going. I'm going to now convert feet into inches, and I can do that because I know there's 12 inches in 1 foot. And so now I'm going to carefully put the numbers where they belong. Okay, for every 1 mile there's 5,280 feet. Okay, for every 1 foot there are 12 inches. And so now I have my problem all set up, and I'll use my calculator to do that. 2.5 times 5280 times 12. And that gives me 158,400. So, how many inches are in 2.5 miles? 158,400 inches. to minutes, feet to inches. Let's go hours to days. There we go. Convert hours to days. Number 8. Okay, so we're going to go from a smaller unit to a larger unit here, just to see how that works out. So we have 744 hours, and we want to convert that into days. Okay, so we start with 744 hours. That's it. So we just leave it over 1. And now I can go from hours straight to days, because I know that there are 24 hours in one day. Again, notice, because my hour unit is in the top for the first fraction, I want to put it in the bottom for the second fraction. Numerator, denominator. That way they cancel out. The units cancel out. Otherwise, we'd have like hours squared, and that wouldn't work out for us, because that's not what we're looking for. Okay, and so as we do this, 744 over 24. Notice that our hours unit does cancel out, and so we're left with days. And so we can use our calculator, put in our fraction, 744 over 24, and that gives us 31. So in a month, there are 31 days, 744 hours. Okay, so that's converting one unit to another unit. You might think that the fractions are overkill, but when we get to converting 2 units to 2 units, you'll see how helpful this system is. Okay, so let's look at right here, our first problem. The first problem asks us to convert 96 miles per hour into feet per second. Okay, now this is a little bit harder in the sense that we're not just saying 96 miles into feet, and we're not just saying hours into seconds. We're having to do both. And so now we're going to start with our fraction being a little bit more complex. We're going to have 96 miles up top over 1 hour. Okay, so here's 96 miles per hour. Okay, so even though MPH seems like 1 unit, it's actually a ratio of 2 units. Okay, and so we're going to focus on one of the units at a time. Okay, I know I want to go from hours to seconds, so I'm going to do that conversion first. So hours, so in the denominator the first time, I'm going to put it in the numerator. Off the top of my head, I don't know how many seconds are an hour, so I'm going to go from hours to minutes. Okay, and I know I can go from minutes to seconds. And now I have the unit that I want, so I'm done converting hours to seconds. Okay, from here I'm just going to plug numbers in so that I don't get minutes confused with miles. Okay, so 1 hour, 60 minutes. 1 minute, 60 seconds. Okay, so I've converted my hours to seconds. And now I'm going to continue and convert my miles into feet. And this one's going to be a little bit quicker because I can go straight from miles to feet. Again, I go back and I say miles was in the numerator the last time that I saw it. So the next time, now I'm going to make sure I put it in the denominator. And I try and get to feet, and I can. So it's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. And so now I do my math problem, multiply straight across. In the numerator, I'll have 96 times 5,280, and that's 506,880. And in the denominator, I'll multiply 160 60 times 1, basically 60 times 60, and that gives me 3,600. And so now I can do this division. 506,880 divided by 3,600, and that should give me 140.8 feet per second. So 96 miles per hour is 140.8 feet per second. Okay, so I don't want to take away too many of those problems since I gave you 5 to do. Please notice that on number 5 we're using euros, and that rate does change frequently, so you might have a different answer than what's provided on the key, but set up your proportions and you should be able to check. And actually you and your buddy or your table partner, if you're checking answers with each other, should have the same answer. Okay, alright, see ya.